Suicide was in the spotlight in August. UCT Dean of Faculty of Health Sciences, Professor Bongani Mayosu's suicide shocked the medical fraternity. His family said the student-led Fees Must Fall protests had a huge impact on his life and took its toll on him. The 51-year-old took his own life following a 2-year battle with depression. Meanwhile, Rhodes University law student Kensani Maseko committed suicide after accusing her boyfriend of raping her in May. Maseko was buried on Women's Day. At the beginning of the month, President Cyril Ramaphosa announced that the ANC had resolved to expropriate land without compensation. Following the party's Lekgotla, Ramaphosa announced that through a parliamentary process, they would finalize a proposed amendment to the constitution. He said this would outline the conditions under which land could be expropriated without compensation. Days later, US President Donald Trump tweeted that he had asked his Secretary of State to study South African land and farm seizures and the killing of farmers. Zimbabwe's Constitutional Court dismissed NDC Alliance leader Nelson Chamisa's challenge to President Emmerson Mnangagwa's victory in the July 30th elections. Mnangagwa was then inaugurated as Zimbabwe's new president almost 6 months after Robert Mugabe was removed from office. Staying in the southern African country, prominent opposition figure Tendai Biti was arrested at Zimbabwe's border with Zambia, where he was seeking political asylum. He is accused of declaring Chamisa president and fomenting violence. Cape Town Mayor Patricia de Lille agreed to resign after the DA attempted to remove her with a second motion of no confidence. In June, the DA controlled City Council stripped her of her executive powers but failed to remove her. De Lille said she feels relieved that she has cleared her name and she can now focus on the future. The Constitutional Court declared the appointment of NPA head Shaun Abrahams invalid as the dismissal of his predecessor Mxolisi Nxasana was unconstitutional. The court found that the settlement of 17.3 million rand to Nxasana was also invalid and that he should pay back 10.3 million rand to the NPA. In addition, the court directed that the president appoint a new NPA head within 90 days. Salas Ramaid was appointed acting head in the interim. Former UN Secretary General Kofi Annan died in Switzerland after a short illness aged 80. He was the UN Secretary General between 1997 to 2006. He was also a chair of the group of elders set up by former President Nelson Mandela. Struggle stalwart Zondeni Veronica Sobukwe, also widow to the late PAC founder Robert Mangaliso Sobukwe, also passed away at the age of 91. She was later raised in Gafreinet in the Eastern Cape, following a special official funeral which was disrupted by PAC members. The much-anticipated Commission of Inquiry into State Capture officially began its proceedings in Parktown, Johannesburg. Former GCIS head Themba Maseko, former Deputy Finance Minister SABC Jonas, and former ANC MP Feki Mento were the first witnesses to testify before Deputy Chief Justice Raymond Zondo. Afro Worldview News channel went off air on August 20. This came after the public fallout over the Gupta emails which showed that MultiChoice, which operates DSTV, had paid 25 million rand to the Gupta-owned channel and had increased its annual carriage fee from 50 million to 141 million rand. Transnet CEO Siyabonga Gama was served with a notice of suspension. He's one of 3 executives served with notices of intention to suspend them. The 3 have been implicated in reports regarding allegations of violating the Public Finance Management Act. Convicted ex-murderer Henry van Breda's application for leave to appeal his conviction and sentencing was dismissed in the High Court in Cape Town. Van Breda was sentenced to 3 life terms in June for murdering his parents, Martin and Teresa, and his brother Rudy in June. He was also sentenced to 50 years imprisonment for the attempted murder of his sister Marley and another 12 months for obstruction of justice. Soweto residents went on a rampage looting foreign-owned spaza shops after one person was shot dead on Tuesday, allegedly by a foreign shop owner. Tensions had been simmering for some time over allegations that foreign-owned shops sell expired and fake goods to local residents. 2 people were killed during the violence and one was critically wounded and was admitted to hospital. Towards the end of the month, NUMSA and NUM signed a wage agreement with power utility Eskom, ending the protracted strike. The agreement is for 3 years and will see an increase of 7.5% this year and 7% over the next 2 years. A 10,000 Rand once-off payment will also be made to employees who participated in the bargaining forum. For SABC News in Johannesburg, I'm Lebo Changela.